Lin-Manuel Miranda, you are the man of the moment, the man of the hour, the man of the year.
Thank you. I remember being Conrad Birdie, and all the girls in the grade had to faint when I sang. And I said, I'm doing this for the rest of my life.
Maybe you've heard of him, NFL superstar, Hall of Famer Joe Montana.
The game is just so much fun. I always say I wish people could go out on the field one Sunday afternoon and play the game. And win or lose, just to get that feeling of what it's like out there. Because there's nothing like it, and nothing like it around.
Tony Robbins.
I just started to cry and cry. And I realized in that moment, this happened because I did what was right. I didn't do things for brownie points. I didn't do it for positioning. My heart knew it was right, and I did it. And I was rewarded. It's like the money showed up.
But how is that different from me wanting to give my last paycheck to the Broadway show I want to invest in?
It's not different than that. If you did that once, it would be good. If you do it regularly, you're in trouble.
Fair enough.
Todrick Hall.
Todrick, I love you.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I think that we're going to be best friends.
I agree.
I'm following you back on Instagram and Twitter right now, and it's going to be a BFF situation. You have no choice.
Welcome, Tori Amos.
Hi, Laura. What's going on in the world, we have to respond to that and work together every night, collaboratively. I think that's essential because it's important that we're sharing, yes, our stories, but we're also planting seeds.
Liza Koshy. You are both on screen and off, really setting an incredible example for the young people of today. And it's really been an honor to spend this time with you today, Liza.
I'm in love with you.
Let's get married.
Let's go.
Good morning, Laura Heywood here, and I have already had a crazy day. It's noon in New York. We are live. You can call in at 844-TALK-DNR if you want to chime in. I'm expecting my guest any minute, but first I have to tell you about this crazy workout program I've been doing. It's called Snatched in 6 Weeks, and it's basically like a cult. Today was Broadway theme day, and I posted a picture on my social media at Broadway Girl NYC. You can see I'm wearing West Side Story leg warmers, a track jacket from the prom, a sparkly tank top from The Color Purple. I also wore a Band's Visit cap and a pair of random earmuffs that Avenue Q made, I think, as a prototype. So I basically look like a cartoon character. I'm full on dressed up as Broadway Girl as if it was a Halloween costume today. And I did a full workout, a kettlebell workout with burpees and I think I sort of look like I just got out of a pool or out of the ocean because my hair is all in post-workout sweat mode, but I'm working it. I'm dominating it. My guest today is going to be
on today's show. Laura Heywood interviews
Dan Finnerty. Now, you may not know the name Dan Finnerty, but I bet you've seen him. Let me know if this sounds familiar.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eyes. You're fucking every now and then I fall apart.
You know that voice. You know that song, and you certainly know those swear words. I know that you probably sing Total Eclipse of the Heart that way every single time you hear it, and that's because of the Dan Band, Dan Finnerty's project. It's more than a project. It's like his cult band. They were featured in Wedding Crashers. Oh, no, wait. Old School. It was Old School. They've been in so many bands, but that classic clip.
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eyes. You're fucking every now and then I fall apart.
That one's from Old School, and that was the moment that Dan Finnerty burst onto the pop culture scene as the wedding singer in Will Ferrell's Wedding. He, of course, went on to play a wedding singer in 2 other movies, Starsky and Hutch and The Hangover. Yes, I have clips from those too, all directed by Todd Phillips, who's clearly a fan. What you might not know is that Dan's also an actor. He's worked with Steven Spielberg, and he might play a wedding for the right price, but he's more of a concert dude. The Dan Band regularly sells out gigs all over the country and is truly one of the most entertaining shows I've ever seen in my entire life. It's funny, it's uproarious, it is sing-along fantastic, and it is dirty. So don't bring kids. In fact, walking in the door right now, here with me today, is the only person I have ever greeted with a loving, enthusiastic, full-out middle finger, because that's the way that Dan Finnerty rolls. Welcome to Laura Heywood Interviews.
Oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. And I love that intro. It makes me like myself.
Well, good. I like you.
That's awesome. And I learned things about myself.
What did you learn?
That I'll do weddings for a price.
I mean,
which I will. I'll whore it out if I have to.
I mean, look.
Yeah. Come on. Times are tough.
And you're like, people think you're a wedding singer because you appeared as a wedding singer in a bunch of movies.
Yeah. I didn't even sing at my own wedding.
Well, of course not.
That'd be really cheap. That's how cheap I am.
You'd be like, let's not hire a band.
I'll just do it.
And Kathy, your gorgeous wife, would be like, who am I supposed to do the first dance with? I'll just dance and sing at the same time.
She didn't even do the first dance with me.
What? Was it with like her dad or something like that?
No, it was with our daughter. I guess that's why people wait to have kids till after the wedding.
So that's cute.
It was cute, but I was awkwardly like the third wheel.
Your
she
own
also
wedding.
took our daughter out of her sister's arms. Right after we turned to walk down the aisle, they're like, man and wife, and then she grabbed our daughter Samia, and I was just like awkwardly hopping along the train of her gown, like, can I come too? It was whatever.
I don't think I realized that you didn't get married till after Sammy was born.
Yeah, we're going to hell.
You are going to hell for so many other reasons.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I think that having a loving family on your own timeline is probably not going to be the reason. I
That's
think
a
it's
good
probably
answer.
more likely to be this.
I take you to the candy shop. I let you lick the lollipop. Break it down for you now, baby, it's simple. You be an info, I'll be an info. Got the magic stick, I'm the love doctor. Keep on going till you hit the spot. Fucking give it to me, baby.
This is all while grinding up against an old lady.
I mean, it was consensual.
I mean, the look on her face did not look that consensual to me.
Yeah, I don't know that any of us knew it was going to happen, honestly.
That was from The Hangover?
Yeah.
So you were not directed to grind up on the old lady while singing a 50 Cent cover?
There was no contact. It was just implied. What happened? And when I was in old school, I did a whole thing where I sang Private Dancer also, and it was secretly my favorite scene in the movie of what I did. I pulled this older woman out of the audience and sat her down and sang Private Dancer to her. And the director didn't know I was going to do it. And I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. And her reaction was so legit. But when it didn't show up in the movie, he was like, oh, it'll be in the, special features on the DVD.
Extras.
And then I did, this is so like perfect, like name drop thing. It's not even, no, but then when I did Starsky and Hutch, the next movie with him.
Was that?
In a restaurant, in a topless bar, in a high school bus, in the back of your mama's car, on a trampoline, in the middle of a putting green, anywhere you're near or far, right here at this bat mitzvah. Rockin' the womanhood, Elizabeth.
Oh my
Rockin'
God.
the womanhood, Elizabeth.
Yeah. See?
Sorry to interrupt your story.
No, it was good. I love it. This is how I want to walk through my life.
Anytime you mention any of those three movies, I've got
I know.
the
I'm like,
audio
and then when I
ready
was
to
in
go.
Jaws, dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be amazing if
Yeah,
I
it'd be
just pulled
awesome.
up the
And then
Jaws sound
Porky's.
effect?
Yeah. But Todd, the director, was like, oh, hey, the DVD's coming out this week. This was on the Starsky and Hutch site. And he's like, your thing's in the special features. You're going to love it. Of Private Dancer. And then my friend got an early copy of the DVD, and he said there was a link that you could click that said Dan Band, and it was empty. And I saw Todd the next year or something, and I was like, what happened? It's not in there. And he was like, oh, yeah, there was like a screw up at the factory. He's like, sorry, bro.
It got deleted?
It just didn't. I don't know. It didn't make it. And,
put it up on YouTube or something?
But I was like, you mean forever? Like, it's just never going to, even in like future digital downloads or whatever is capable in the near future? Yeah, and I've never seen it.
You know who's really pissed that got cut out? That extra.
Oh, I know.
Because if that had been in the movie, I'm sure she would have gotten upgraded to a different pay grade.
I'm sure by then she was already with Jesus.
Oh,
she was pretty old, but or whatever heavenly creature she
was dead
aspired
by
to.
then.
Yeah, but then when I did the Hangover, you already played it. He was like,
Take it to the king.
yeah.
We're not gonna listen to the whole thing.
Oh my God. No, play it again. Nope. Yeah.
We can fill the whole house.
Just, yeah. You just keep playing that until I finally get here. No, he said, oh, I'm making up for old school and I got you an old lady. She's in the front, if you feel free. Is basically what he said. So I just jumped down and, made her part of the movie.
Isn't it true that your first take for when you were doing Old School, I always want to call it Wedding Crashers, but you weren't in Wedding Crashers, nor were you in The Wedding Singer.
No, people think it all the time.
I know. When I was like, I put Dan Finnerty into Google, and it was like, is Dan Finnerty in The Wedding Singer? That was the first thing that popped up.
We've been hired every year to do the Catalina wine mixer on Catalina Island, and that's like a joke from the movie Step Brothers. It's only been 4 summers that they've done it. It's a really fun event, actually. But it's all, based on Step Brothers. And the promoter thought we were the band in Step Brothers. And so I said to my agent, I go, dude, everybody comes up to me and they're like, Step Brothers, Wedding Crashers. And I'm like, uh-huh. So I was like, just don't mention that we're not the band in Step Brothers because that would be a fun event to play.
I feel bad for that band, whoever they were.
Oh, it was Horatio Sands. He's doing great. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't feel bad for him.
It was like Billy Joel doo-wop or something. So that's a funny scene in the movie. But anyway, I played it every year. I said to the promoter after we were done, he was like, that was great. We're so lucky we got you. And you're so funny in the movie. And I was like, I do have a confession. Like, that wasn't us in the movie. But
too late now.
I don't look anything like Horatio Sands.
No, but I think people think of you as that guy. And truthfully, like The Wedding Singer, when it was made into a Broadway musical, when Stephen Lynch played the role of Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler in the movie, I feel like you could have just as easily. Although I guess you have to play guitar. He played guitar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, you wanted me to play guitar.
Well, so listen. This is full transparency about DNR Studios. We're a pretty small operation. It's very much like a family business, and getting rights to play music on the air is hella expensive, and I had to edit these clips of you from these movies to be under a certain length because then we don't have to pay royalties on the songs.
Right.
And you have to have permission from both the songwriter and whoever owns the publishing rights.
Yep.
If you play more than a certain amount. If you played a song you wrote, and you played it live, then you would be both the songwriter and the publishing, I think, because it went over our airwaves, would belong to us.
Right.
Of that particular performance.
Right.
So I
That's
definitely
so
was like, can you please come bring your guitar and play an original song? And you were like, 1, I don't play guitar. 2, I do covers.
Yeah.
so no and no.
Yeah. I mean, I have a bunch of originals on the wedding album.
That's right.
Only
that wedding album was called
No,
Ho.
No, the Christmas album is called Ho.
Oh, wait. Duh.
Yeah, but it's all right.
I'm sorry. I was just saying before you walked in, I just finished my 4th hardcore workout in a row, like 4 days in a row. I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. Today was Broadway theme day at the gym, so I've got like my West Side Story leg warmers on.
God.
And so I'm literally kind of going crazy. I'm hallucinating a little bit.
You're doing
Who would
great.
name their wedding album Ho?
I wish I had. That's the best wedding album ever. Oh my God.
Honey, I wrote you this song.
Yeah,
it's called
Ho. Yeah. It's funny. Well, the wedding album thing, God, I sound like I'm just pitching all my things.
That is what you're doing.
I know. Hey. Well, because my mom bought it. She's the one who bought the wedding album. Oh, no, because I wrote a bunch of songs on that, and I could have played one of them. But, yeah, when you were like, can you bring in your guitar? I was like, I'm going to need, 2 days to learn how to play guitar. Well, I played trombone for 4 years. I could just do that.
I think this is I'm going to sound so stoned when I say this. Reality is such a confusing concept.
Oh my God.
I have not had any drugs today, I promise. But I'm really into neurology and the way the brain works, and memory is such a fascinating and fucked up kind of concept. People literally remember things that never happened, and we also don't remember things the way they happened. And every time you remember something, it affects the way you remember it the next time. And so people can often think they remember something that didn't actually ever happen.
Right.
I'm listening to a lot of podcasts on it. You are the ultimate example of that because people think you were in The Wedding Singer and people think you were in.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No.
People think I thought I had seen you on stage. I have a memory of seeing you on stage at what was then called, I think, the Blender Theater, which.
Where was that?
It's on 23rd Street on the east side. It's gone through a lot of name changes.
Oh, the Zipper?
No. That was a West Side place, but man, I loved the Zipper.
Yeah, that was a good place.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called now.
The Blender.
Yeah, it was named after Blender magazine for like a minute.
Oh.
But
yeah, you might have seen. Maybe we played a party. Who cares? But
yeah,
I know. I mean, we do, but they don't. No, I think I just read.
But
Trump
remember playing. I remember seeing you playing guitar. And you definitely didn't because you
No,
know.
because I can't.
But my memory says it absolutely happened. And if you ask me on a lie detector test, did you see Dan Finnerty play guitar? I would say yes.
Yeah, I would love to. Every time Kathy and I have some fight, we're always like, we need the fight app, which is like, Alexa, the minute Alexa hears us start to have a disagreement, Alexa should start recording so we could play it back. You know what I mean? Because I'm always like, no, and then you said, and she's like, no, and she's got different line deliveries of like how horribly I said something. I'm like, I didn't say it like that. I said it like an angel. And anyway, yeah, the memory thing. But wait, Trump said just not to Trump out at all.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
Hey, have you heard of this guy, Trump? No, but he just, I guess today or yesterday said something like his grandfather was German and was born in a beautiful German town, and then everyone's like, no, he wasn't. He was born in New York. But, like, Trump just believes that his father was born in a German town. So, I know. It's about the memory thing. That's where I was going. Yeah. You can remember whatever you want to.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Dan.
Mm-hmm.
I found out something very surprising about you recently.
Oh, no.
And it's not something that's a surprise to you.
God, the way you said Dan was like how, like, the principal at my Catholic school would sit me
called
down.
Daniel.
We know what you're doing.
I did it as much as I would like to. Maybe I should have called the show Laura Heywood Hangs Out with People She Admires, but I didn't. I called it Laura Heywood Interviews, which means that I want to interview you. Like I want to find out some stuff about you that maybe your fans don't know. I do a lot of research, and but this piece of news I did not learn from doing research. I learned because I ran into you at a party recently. That brings us to our segment, Yes and.
Yes and. Yes and. Yes and.
We know Dan as the guy from all these movies.
Wedding Crashers and
yeah, right.
Step Brothers.
And Step Brothers, Starsky and Hutch, and The Hangover, and Old School. But did you know that he was in Stomp?
Hey.
You know Stomp, like the garbage cans and brooms percussion show that's been running off Broadway for 20 plus years.
25 years.
Yeah, that's right.
This
we
year.
saw each other at the 25th anniversary. And
yeah.
They played a video featuring a lot of alums from the show. And I was like, oh my gosh, that guy was in Stomp. Oh, she was in Stomp. This person, that person. And then I was like, what?
Oh,
the guy who sings the dirty covers of like songs by women, the Dan Band?
Uh-huh.
And there you were. And
25 pounds ago.
25 years. Look, if you're just going a pound a year, you're doing pretty good.
Oh shit! Well,
and you look good.
Well, thanks. It's
Plus,
really
I know
dirty.
you can still do the moves because you did them in the reunion show.
That's right. Yeah, I did. I did it like slowed down a little bit.
So the first thing I asked you when I saw you afterward was, I had no idea that you were really a dancer. And Stomp is such a choreography heavy show. You do a few turns and moves in your Dan Band shows, but Stomp, that's some pretty intense stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a dancer, and that's what's so crazy about that I ended up in Stomp. But when I lived here in New York back in the 90s, it was like from 93 to 95 is when I moved here, and I would audition for anything. I didn't care. I was like, my mom still has a videotape that says Danny on Guiding Light, because I would, they'd pay you $150 for the day to sit there, and they always cast me as like regular guy in the diner at the wharf, and so, but I just like lean my head in and try to get in the shot, and my mom would be thrilled and have everyone over to watch the videotape. But I tried out for like Is it Babar or Babar? What's the elephant?
I believe it's Babar.
Oh, Babar.
But I think that a lot of people pronounce it Babar.
Babar.
Yes.
It's like how I say, I'll have the flan, but it's not. The custard dessert, in case you want. It's delicious. But what am I saying? Something
You auditioned to play Babar, the
Babar.
elephant?
No, but I would do, I went in, and it was one of those, kids tours where you have to drive yourself and bring, a cassette tape that you pop into the AV thing, and then you get in this elephant costume and sing to the little first graders. And I was up for it. I was like, I'll do anything. So I went to a Dreamgirls open call that said African Americans only, and I was like, fuck that. I know there's a white dude in that show. Can you say white dude on this? Yeah. All right.
Can you say white dude on this? I actually, before you came in, I changed the setting on the podcast to the explicit setting instead of the clean setting, because I knew that I was going to be playing these clips that you obviously can't play on terrestrial radio. But I also was like, there's no way we're going to have a conversation where we know each other too well. We're too comfortable around each other. The swear words are just going to start coming out.
So it'll say it. It's a warning for the kids.
It's got a little logo, and I think it filters out for parental controls or something like that.
Fucking awesome.
So you were going to play Babar.
Oh, right. And then I went to that open call for, and I sat there in a room. It was just me, Whitey in the room. And I remember some dude looking over at me, and as we were waiting, he was like, good for you, man. Whatever. I would go to anything.
Did you get cast?
No. Hell no. I didn't get cast in anything. I never, but I would just.
I know that's not true, and I've got a little game for us coming up later about some of these roles that you've played over the years.
Oh, shit.
But let's keep talking about Stomp. We'll consider that a little tease.
Well, do you want me to tell this little thing of why I ended up in the because
of course.
So when I lived here, if I got up and showered, once I was out, I was like, all right, well, I'm out. So I went to this Tommy audition. I kept getting called back for Tommy when it was on Broadway. It had just opened, and I was like,
The Who's Tommy.
The Who's Tommy, and I love The Who, so I was like, okay, that's cool. And the casting director came up to me, and she's like, you'd be in this show today if you could dance. You just have to figure out how to fake dance and come back, next time we have auditions, and just be ready to So I went like a montage scene, to Broadway Dance Center. I took one class where I just flew into metal folding chairs, and all these guys were in unitards, and I was in sweats and a baseball hat and Converse sneakers, and I was like, this isn't for me. And finally my friend was like, dude, I know a swing in the show, like an understudy. I'll ask him if he'll meet with you and teach you the moves, for.
Because you don't need to know every move in the world for an audition. You just need to know the moves for the number that they're going to ask you to
and it
dance
was the same
audition.
every time.
Yeah.
It was sensation, I'm a sensation. I was like, that's genius. It feels like cheating, but it's awesome. So we met. I rented a studio on 8th Avenue. He taught me every move. I wrote it down with little stick figures on a piece of paper, and it's on the lyric, the stick figure's arm goes up. And the morning of the audition, I was on the roof of my building, like a scene out of Footloose, with my Walkman and looking at these stick figures and just letting the papers fly off. I don't need these anymore because today's the day I get in fucking Tommy. And because I knew it perfectly, I walked to the front of the audition, which I'd never done.
The front row?
Oh, yeah. I'd always go in the back and be like, I hope they don't notice. And even for Babar, I was in the back, But this one.
Look, no shade at Babar.
Hey, man,
You make a living as a performer. You're my hero. I don't care whether you're doing it for 5 people or you're doing it for 5,000 people. I don't care whether you're in a costume or whether you're all up in your, tiny dance outfit. Broadway or basement, if you make art for a living and pay
Someone's
your bills that
yeah.
way, you've won.
Mm-hmm.
So
we all won with Babar.
Yeah.
God, Babar is really getting a shout out.
Do you remember what I remember about that book when I was a kid is that I think it was the king died from eating a poison mushroom, and I was haunted by it. I still to this day don't like mushrooms, and I think it might be because of Babar.
Oh my God. Well, you can eat flan.
Call back.
Hey. So I walked to the front and of this audition. Wayne Salento, the choreographer, he was like, I saw the casting director look at me like, wow, look at Dan right up front. Okay. And Wayne, the choreographer, was like, oh, you know what? I'm so sick of doing Sensation. Let's do Pinball Wizard. And I was like, what? And then all the dudes they all just started flailing around with their leg warmers, and I just sunk to the back. And
because you literally, the only dance moves you knew were the Sensation choreography.
I think I shouted out loud, like, no. Like at the end of Pinball Wizard, because I just stood there like a clown while they all danced around me. And then I was like, what about Sensation? He's like, oh, we're not doing it. And I was like, and I started busting out into it like, no. And I think they laughed and they're like, bye, Dan. And so I like wandered out of there. I was all pissed off. And there was a line around the block for STOMP auditions.
So the way that these studios work in New York City is that there are, I don't know, probably 100 little rooms along long hallways that get booked to audition, rehearse, and do other random, like, before production begins stuff on Broadway shows. So you'll often see you'll see like a bunch of redheaded white guys in one line, and then like a bunch of blonde kids in another line, and a bunch of African American, like really tall people, depending on what the call is for.
Right.
So it
and
does
then
make
one
sense.
husky, like strawberry blonde guy in the line with the black people for
Right.
Dreamgirls. Yeah.
And so you came out of your audition for Tommy, and you saw there was an audition for STOMP, which at the time wasn't. It wasn't like a sensation yet, was it?
No, it already was. It was. It was 24 years ago. So.
So it was.
It had been open a
finished
year with the British cast, and they were hiring. They were hiring for the first tour, so it was going to be the very first tour that the 8 British cast members that made STOMP weren't doing.
First American cast.
Yep, and second cast ever, basically, because the Brits did it. I can't believe I just said Brits, but I did. It sounds great.
I told you can say anything you want on this platform.
Fucking Brits. Yeah. So anyway, I was like, I'll never get in this, but I'm up and I showered, and who wants to go all the way home? And
you didn't have to have an appointment. You could just get on the line.
it was an open call, and the line was so big that by the time they were coming down the line saying like, "There's too many people. We're gonna take appointments." So when can you come back Thursday? And I was like, no, I'm working Thursday until 6. And she's like, well, you can come back at 6. The last appointment's at 6:30. I was like, okay. So I signed up and then went home. Thursday, I was working as an original staff member at Ellen Stardust Diner.
Shut up! That's
I
amazing.
opened that place, motherfucker. Yeah, which is so stupid. I was there before they even sang because we had to audition to get the job. And I lied. They were like, how many years have you been waiting tables? I was like, 4. I'd never waited a table in my life. And then I sang I think we had to sing like a 50s song, and I sang Splish Splash because I knew it from Happy Days. Potsy always sang it. And then they were building Ellen Stardust Diner, and we were like training inside, and it had just opened, I don't know.
In its current location, right next to the Winter Garden Theater on Broadway?
Yep, that's the one. And my first day of training was at there was one over on 6th Avenue and 56th. Which is now a Chipotle. But
I know that Chipotle.
Yeah, that's where I trained, and I got fired the first day because I didn't. This is boring, but I didn't know these people are like, it's been boring for half an hour, dude. Fucking don't stop now.
Look, this is an opt-in program. People
hey,
don't
man,
have to listen.
Yeah, you're not in jail.
We hope you listen.
I know. No,
we are
going to
play
get better.
A game coming up soon, and you know what? Just for a little musical break, how about this?
Every now and then I get a little bit terrified. I see the fucking look in your eye. You're fucking every now and then I fall apart.
See, now people are engaged with the program.
It's a palate
again.
cleanser. Yeah. All right, good. Yeah, so anyway, I left Ellen Stardust Diner where I worked all day, 8-hour shift, and I was like, there's no fucking way I'm going to that STOMP audition. I'm not going to get in it. I'm exhausted. I've been serving like French fries and quesadillas all day, which I first called quesadilla because I didn't know.
Oh my gosh, where did you grow up?
Upstate New York.
They don't have quesadillas there?
Not back then. They didn't. No. I think someone said I'll have a quesadilla, and I was like, how the fuck are you going to eat a case of them? And what's a dia? Like, hogger? But, yeah. So then I was at the red light, about to turn left to go home. And because even though I had no money, I took a cab home. That's how tired I was. And something said, like, oh, just go straight and go downtown. And go to that stupid call. It's the end of the day. You probably won't have to wait long. And for some reason, the light turned green, and I was like, oh, just go straight. I'm going to go downtown to Lafayette. And I walked in. They were like, the last group just went in, run in. They were already learning this hands and feet number. And I came in, and it total like needle scratch. And I just didn't give a shit because I was so tired. I'm like, I'm not getting in this thing. But I didn't want to live with myself what if I got in? You know what I mean? I guess I wouldn't have known. And
But your life sure would have been different.
Because, yeah, they called me back, and they were like, all right, can you come back tomorrow? Every time they called me back, I lost respect for the show. I was like, ugh, the Brits have checked out. They don't care about this show anymore.
Because you just thought you had no
I couldn't
talent.
do any of it. Yeah, and it was the first time I didn't care about an audition, and that's why I got it. Because I literally was like, who cares? So when they were things that look like dancing, it's never dancing. It's all like choreography that is all based on the stomp sound on the floor. So like if you're moving your legs, it's only to stomp your feet on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
yeah, it's really percussive.
Right.
But
and
watching people do it live, it feels so fresh and new and cool. And I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this, but hey, I may have the opportunity to go down to the theater where Stomp is playing, the Orpheum, and get a lesson.
Oh my God.
In like stomping.
I'll give you a lesson right now if it doesn't work out.
Oh, sounds good.
All right.
Well, what does hands and feet mean? That was your part, right? You were the hands and feet routine.
Well, everybody does it. Then we all in this 25th anniversary show got to just jump in for a second in one number, you know. So like they threw me in the hands and feet thing, and hands and feet is just like a 5-minute number where you're just stomping with your feet,
stomping
and,
and clapping.
Yeah, that's it. But it's how they start the audition process to see if you can do that.
Do you think there's a way that we can manipulate the mics in here, point them at your hands and feet so we can hear what it sounds like?
Yeah, it's just, look at me. This is a basic groove. And I'm wearing Converse sneakers, which Luke, the creator, when I went to the 25th show, everyone else is in like Bluntstone boots and these really heavy sounding boots. And I was like, well, do you need me to get boots? And he's like, no, the softer your shoe, the better. Because he doesn't want it.
I'm gonna see if I can take a video of this that we can put on social media.
All right. I'll take these off.
This is like live radio at its best.
Great, isn't it? How's my hair?
This is like,
all right.
people who are listening on the podcast version are like, they didn't edit this podcast very well.
I know, right?
And I'm like, no, it's live radio.
All
right.
They would kill me. They're like, don't ever represent the show, you especially. But anyway, so this is it.
Okay,
ready?
he's gonna do this hands and feet.
Oh fuck! See, that's why they don't want me to do it. Whatever. That's good.
I hope you could.
I just had a heart attack.
Try not to exert yourself too much.
That's the most exercise I've had in a week.
I know that's not true because your cab was in so much traffic on your way here that you had to run.
Oh yeah.
You had to run here. You've had a double workout today.
And look, the cab driver. I was like, okay, I have to just get to wherever we are right now, and you can't turn left anywhere in this stupid city from 9 to 5. And shout out Dolly Parton. And the cab driver had it was some prayer channel on his thing, like blasting. So I was waiting to interject and say, like, turn here, because I knew we could get here faster, and it was just like, hey, hey, like it was skipping, and I was kind of waiting for the chorus or a bridge. I was like, is there a bridge or a chorus for me to interrupt this guy from his prayer while he was driving? And there wasn't, and I finally just said, I'm gonna get out, and then I just started running. But I'm
glad you made it.
I just encouraged the Muslim prayer circle to just put in a chorus or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna just not respond to that.
All right. My wife's Lebanese, so I can, but she's
giving you a pass.
But she's Catholic, so
okay.
Either way, I'm doing.
Speaking of your wife, we were talking about how you deciding to go straight downtown to the Stomp audition instead of turning left to go home has changed the entire course of your life. And your wife, Kathy Nijimy, is one of the reasons why.
Yes, because she came to opening night of Stomp in LA. So when so I ended up getting in the show, which is crazy. And she came to opening night and liked this guy.
Was she already like a movie star at the time?
Yeah.
She'd done before or after?
She'd already done like Kathy Mo, obviously in New York,
yeah.
and then Sister Act, and then Hocus Pocus.
So it was after Hocus Pocus.
And it was after Sister Act too.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Yeah. Which is, I think, the quintessential Sister Act movie. It's better than Sister Act 1.
Oh, see, you just outed yourself on how old you are, because everybody your age loves Sister Act 2 because they were the age of the kids, probably.
Look, if people want to think that I'm that age demographic, great. My 40th birthday is in 2 weeks.
No, then that's the age demo. Yeah. Bridget Everett calls Sister Act 2 the Lauryn Hill documentary. Do you know? She says that documentary with Lauryn Hill with the nuns. Anyway, yeah, Kathy.
So she was a big famous star, and you were a guy who accidentally got cast in Stomp.
Yeah, who left my job at Ellen Stardust Diner to try out for this Stomp. You just heard me stomp like that. It's a miracle I got in. It's just because, but I ended up being the guy who just crashes into garbage cans and like screws everything up. So that
sounds about right.
Yeah, it was perfect casting.
They were like,
actually.
you know what? This guy can't do any of this.
And he
Let's
doesn't.
make that the show.
Yeah, that'll be funny. But so we were all in L.A. for the opening, and my friend Ivan and I were watching the red carpet, just like, here we are, Hollywood, like, look at it. And watching the celebrities on the carpet. And then Kathy came, and she just lost a bunch of weight, so people weren't recognizing her. And she was like in this white gown, and it was all like sexy. And Ivan's like, who's that? And I was like, oh my God, that's Kathy Nijimy. I thought the J was like Hickam.
Because you overcorrected when you learned how to pronounce quesadilla.
Yeah, I just had like all this terror about Spanish because I only took French. Yeah, so I was like, it's Nijimy. And yeah, she invited us all to a party after the show because she loved Stomp so much. She loved it because, it's genderless and ageless, and she loved it for all the political reasons of like, a woman can be the lead. It doesn't matter how old she is or what color she is, and all the parts really are interchangeable and have been played by every walk of.
Yeah, it is the most diverse cast I think I've ever seen, and I mean that like you saw really young people playing these roles, and there were people with like you were like, oh, I think that person's been in it for 20 years and is still dominating.
I have friends that are still in it that did it with me 24 years ago. But so she had a party, and it's mainly because she liked this guy Henry, who was in the show, and he's this big black dude with like dreadlocks and nipples on his nipples. Like it was like, so she's like, okay, yeah. She was going to leave at intermission because she really just kind of wanted to support Jackie Green, who was the publicist, and then take some pictures and be like, check it out, on the red carpet. And there was no intermission for Stomp. So,
but she loved it.
She loved it. So then we all went to her house, and they were like, Kathy Nijimy's having a party at her house. And, we all went. And
then you never left.
Never left. We brought beer. We all walked in with 6 packs of beer because we were 25. Like, you know what I mean? We're like, oh, that's everybody BYOB. And, of course, she had, like, it was catered. And I'm like, who has a fucking buffet at their party? You know what I mean? Like,
this lady's a grown-up.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, she's a real grown-up. And then, I think she had like some, like 5 beers and like vodka at the bar. You know what I mean? But we were the only ones that were like, blowjobbing the empty bottles at the end of the night.
I knew it was going to be explicit, but I did not know we were going there.
Yeah, we cleared out her whole bar. But when Henry came, obviously Henry was with us, and because he was our ticket in, and Henry walked up to Kathy and he was like, hey, where are all the cute boys at? And she was like, God damn it. So I kind of swooped in as like a
backup
downgraded, whiter, huskier version.
And then
so we stayed at the party.
You've been in love for like 24 years, I guess, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, because we went skydiving the next morning and we invited her. And Mo was there too.
That's the move, dude.
Oh, I know. It was like 3 a.m. We left the place after she was like, I've had those bottles of liquor at the bar for 2 years and I've never replaced them, and they were gone in 20 minutes once the Stompers got there. We were like, woo. But we were like, we're going skydiving in the morning. Do you want to go? And she was like, all right. And I, of course, didn't think she'd show up, but she pulled up to our hotel, and she had a convertible, so I jumped in the front because I was like, we're in L.A., and it's a convertible, and it's Nijimy. And
when did you find out how to pronounce her name?
Like 2 weeks ago. And yeah. And then we fell in love skydiving.
I mean, there is nothing like adrenaline. It's very similar to, I think, a lot of the hormonal reactions that happen when you're falling in love with someone. I think, if you go to a theme park with somebody that you potentially have chemistry with, I feel like it could turn up the chemistry in a major way.
Unless you go on the the roundup or whatever that is, where you stick to the wall. You know what I mean? Where it spins.
Tilt-a-whirl or something.
Tilt-a-whirl's bad, but the one where you stand against a wall and then the floor drops out because the centrifugal force or whatever is going so fast.
I don't think I'd like
Everybody
to do that.
throws up. That'd be a bummer. No, Christy Brinkley's second husband, they fell in love because they were just two people on a helicopter tour and it crashed on the top of a mountain.
What?
And they were so happy to survive that they got married. And that's how I felt with Kathy. Like, we landed and we were like, okay, let's never break up.
And did you really just start dating then and there immediately? You landed, your parachutes fluttered down around you, and you like fell into a romantic embrace. And
yeah, 69. I just wanted to keep going, keep shocking, make it worth the
man.
explicit.
I hope that explicit rating
I know.
Actually made it.
It's just numbers. 69's only a number.
That's true.
Or is it? Anyway, God, I haven't really woken up yet. I get up late. You've been at the gym doing Broadway yoga. Did you do
look,
like
it was,
da-da-da-da-da? Is that what you do?
No, it was just a dress-up day. I'm doing kettlebell swings and snatches and burpees, and this is badass stuff that I'm doing. My program's called Snatched in 6 Weeks. This radio show is not sponsored by it, but I am obsessed with it. It's at Marc Fisher Fitness. I highly recommend everybody does it. It's expensive, and it's the best money I've ever spent. I'm in week 5 of 6, and I'm a transformed woman.
I don't want to say like what's a snatch, but honestly, what is a snatch? I know what a burpee is, but I've never heard snatch.
So a snatch,
yeah,
in the non-explicit sense, is when you take a kettlebell and you have it like on the mat between your feet, and you pick it up, and with one hand you sort of swing it up to above your head. I mean, you should YouTube it.
How many people get knocked out?
Nobody. Because we learn really good.
And how many people enjoy themselves?
I think it's an adrenaline thing, you know? And it is so much more fun when you can put on costumes. I bring a tutu to class almost every day because for me, if I'm going to like do so many squats that my legs wobble when I walk out the door, it's more fun to watch the tutu go up and down with me while I do them. And this gym invites people to do that.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
where
is it? I want to go stand in the window and at least watch.
It's at 39th and 9th. And there's also one in the Bowery. It's called Marc Fisher Fitness. And
you can see in the window?
Yeah.
Oh, you're bumming. I'm showing up.
Great.
Outside. I'm not going in.
I'll just walk you in there. We can watch a class together.
Oh, my God.
It is.
Can I come as
It's like the best thing in my life.
Rum Tum Tugger?
Yes.
All right.
There is one of the guys there has a cat's unitard.
You know who I'm coming as. Babar.
You are good with the callback,
Come
my
on.
friend.
That's perfect, me in an elephant costume doing kettlebells and snatches.
Let's talk about some of the acting roles that you've played.
Oh, my God.
Because in addition to playing singer, wedding singer, and bat mitzvah singer, you've also played Guy, Pizza Guy,
yeah,
Grouchy Guy, Dave, Bob.
Who is Dave and Bob?
Bartender,
I probably made that up.
Purse snatcher, the best man, 3 different guys named Dan, and somebody called Sad Sack.
Sad Sack,
in addition to your starring role as Discovery Store manager in The Terminal with Tom Hanks.
Whose name I tried to make Cliff. For a while, yeah.
Because you were like, this guy cannot just be called Discovery Store manager.
Nope. Even in Dumplin', I was just in that movie, Dumplin'. Shout out. It's on Netflix. And
Dumplin' with an apostrophe?
Dumplin'. Mm-hmm. And I played the pageant host. And I was like, same thing, like, I'm not going to have one more IMDb credit with just like guy in background. Guy. Yeah. And so.
I like Guy, Pizza Guy, Grouchy Guy.
Grouchy Guy. I know. And our friend Ann Fletcher directed Dumplin', and she's choreographed a lot of the Dan Band stuff. So any Dan Band moves that look remotely impressive are because Ann Fletcher's a real choreographer, and she would teach us things. And I was like, that looks great. We're going to sway, but thanks for that one move that made it look like we could do something. But one of my backup guys, his name is Gene Reed, and his real name's Eugene, and he hates it, obviously. And so every flight, I write Eugene, so his ticket, if they page him at the airport, it's like, you paging Eugene Reed. And he always gets so mad. He's like, and when I introduce him in the show, I go, and over here is Eugene Reed. And he's like, God damn it. And so I was up on, I know I'm a dick. And so I was on the stage doing the lines for the first time in the movie. And I was like, and once again, I'm your host, Eugene Reed, coming to you live from wherever. And it made Ann Fletcher, the director, laugh because she knows Eugene. But now it's in the credits. It says,
That's right.
Eugene Reed by Dan Finnerty.
Also, I have to mention, because I am such a Broadway junkie, that your appearance as Stacey Jax's tour manager in Rock of Ages was iconic.
Come on. See? That I slipped in. You know, I was in the original Rock of Ages.
In L.A. Before it even
I was the
came to-
original Lonnie.
That's crazy.
That's right.
And that's such a great role. Why weren't you with it when it came to off-Broadway?
Yeah, what'd you do wrong that you didn't continue?
Yeah.
Why'd they recast?
Did you keep calling somebody by their given name, which they hated?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was like me and Kyle Gass played Dennis Dupree, you know, the club.
Yeah, from Tenacious D.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Kristen Hangy directed it. She still directed it. I think they were dating at the time. It was like a secret.
Well, it's out now.
It's out now. And
You're
then,
on Laura Heywood interviews.
Scoop. Laura Bell Bundy played Sherry.
I love Laura Bell.
Yeah, she's
You
great.
know, I saw her.
You know, she's raunchy as hell, too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go watch her perform at like gay bars in New York when she was doing Legally Blonde here. But I actually saw her perform in an off-Broadway show called Ruthless in 1992 when I was 13 and she was 11.
Oh, my God.
And she signed my playbill, which I still have.
That's awesome.
And then I met her again when we were both grown-ups. It's
That's
pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's great. I thought she'd be like sweet, you know, ingenue girl or something. And
Nah.
we were gambling once, and Kathy, my wife, always like when you play the Wheel of Fortune thing, she thinks it's good luck if you get the spin and you have to hit that big button in the center.
This is on a slot machine?
Yeah, Kathy boobs it, so she'll be like, and she just like hits it with her boob, and she thinks it's good luck. And so we were telling Laura Bell Bundy to boob it, and she was like, "I'm gonna crotch it," and she got on the chair and literally like straddled the slot machine and crotched it, and I was like, "Look at this, man." Laura Bell Bundy.
Good luck? Jackpot?
No, I don't remember if it was a jackpot because we'd all already won.
Just
by
from
her
having
doing-
watched it.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited that you got to revisit Rock of Ages in the film version. I'm wondering if I name the role, if you can tell me the movie.
Yeah.
Or the, I guess, television or movie. In what project did you play Joe the bartender?
Spring Awakening. No, that's a musical.
You're on the right track, though. I love the idea of Spring Awakening with a character called Joe the bartender.
Joe the bartender.
It's late 1800s in Germany. Joe the bartender.
Here's some
was
absinthe.
But
Wait.
yeah, you're right. It's
something Early Awakening, Rude Awakening.
Rude Awakening,
Yeah.
1998 to 2006
That was a
episodes as Joe the
Showtime
bartender.
original series before they even had TV shows. How about that?
Oh wow!
And you know who was in one episode? This was after I'd done all the Tommy auditions, and it was oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name from the Who, Roger Daltrey.
Oh wow!
At a table read, I was sitting next to Roger Daltrey, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm only here because of the Tommy audition. You know what I mean?
Actually if you'd gotten cast in Tommy.
Wouldn't know Kathy Nijimy. Our daughter wouldn't be born.
You would probably just have a few Tony Awards and.
I'd probably be in a
Can
penthouse.
you
Damn it.
imagine your alternate life if you'd gotten cast in The Who's Tommy?
Right. And
You'd
I'd
be touring with The Who right now.
Yeah, I'd be like Adam Lambert, but not.
with the Who.
Oh my God.
I
I'm
think you did
depressed.
pretty good
All
for
right, all
yourself.
right.
Okay, what about Pizza Guy? In what project did you play Pizza Guy?
That was straight up nepotism it was in Veronica's Closet
That's
because
right.
my wife was on that.
How about Daryl? In what project did you play a character named Daryl? This is also, I'll give you a clue, another nepotism role.
Oh my God. Wait.
Voice only.
Oh, King of the Hill. Yeah. Daryl, that was my name?
Because Kathy Nijimy.
Nijimy was
is
like,
a big star on
Big star on King of the Hill. Yeah. 13 seasons. That was the best job ever.
What about The Doorman? This is going back to 1996.
Oh, that's where I got my SAG card on Ellen, right?
Yeah, you're really good at this.
Well, because I've had 10 parts in anything. There's only 10. Are you kidding? They're memorized.
All right.
No, that was Trisha Yearwood, too. She was...
two short films that you were in. In one, you played Johnny, and the other, you played Bob. You played Bob in 2000, and you played Johnny in 2001.
Oh, wow. I was on a streak. It was like a good streak. Johnny and Bob... no, I have no idea.
You played Bob in Leaving Peoria.
Oh, yeah.
And you played Johnny in Casino with a dollar
Oh,
sign.
right. Casino is Susie Mosher's. You know Susie Mosher?
Yeah.
She was in Hairspray. And She has a show called The Lineup. Which
She's
have you been to The
fantastic.
Lineup?
No.
It's a New York. Come on, it's like a new Broadway institution.
All
It's,
right, The Lineup. I'm going to get her on the show.
and I'm going to be on. Look at this plug. I'm going to be in The Lineup on April 9th.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like
I should
this
have told
weekend.
you that. Yeah, it's this weekend. Or it's on Tuesdays. It's Tuesdays
great.
at Birdland. And she's the funniest person in the world. And she sings her ass off. And she hosts this night where she just does a show and Broadway people and drop in and sing. And like Alice Ripley's singing that night. And she gets...
Wait, you and Alice Ripley and Susie Mosher on the same bill, April 9th at Birdland at the lineup?
Yeah.
Sign me up. I'm buying my tickets
Come on.
right now.
Yeah.
That's what this scribbling sound
That was the
is.
scribble sound of you purchasing.
Me buying the tickets.
But yeah, that was her show, Casino. That's all.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then in a movie called Extreme Movie in 2008, you played somebody with a name that I don't know how to pronounce.
Gigundakok. That's seriously, it's like a
Say it again.
Gigundakok.
What is that?
It's reverse babar.
It's for the opposite audience.
Yeah. No, that's like my Coco story from Fame, is because it was Extreme Movie and it was like all teen dating. It was like do you know Kentucky Fried Movie? Which is
I didn't see it, but I'm familiar.
It's just like little vignette kind of scenes and it was all for teenagers, like things like Porky's and Last American Virgin, and like making fun of that genre of like teen sex films that we all grew up on. Well, at least I did. You grew up on Sister Act 2.
No.
But so they wanted me to do this scene it's like a porn musical, like the making of a porn musical or something. And Kyle Gass was in it, and we had just done.
I gotta watch this movie.
Oh, it's awful. We'd just done Rock of Ages, and he was like, "Dude, they said you're doing this. Are you doing this? I'll do it if you do it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it if you do it." And we got there, and there were real naked women and it was like a musical. So
Did they sing?
Yeah, we all pre-recorded it. So we'd gone in, and it was kind of funny. I was like, "Oh, the lyrics are kind of funny." But the premise is that this kid is like running from these bullies who are going to beat him up, and he accidentally runs into this garage, and they're making secretly a porn movie musical, and I'm Gigundakok, and I'm late, so they think the kid is Gigundakok, and they pull him in and just start to mess around with him, and then I come in late, and I'm like, "It's me, Gigundakok." Anyway, at the end of the day, we'd been there like 12 hours, and the kid who was that mistaken Gigundakok had like pulled his pants down and was wearing one of those hammock things around his
Was this actually a child?
No, it was he was on Jimmy Kimmel all the time and punked. He's like one of those guys who's like, "I'm 42, but he looks like he's 14.
Okay, thank goodness, because you were
Oh, I know.
you were
Yeah,
worrying me there for a second.
I know. I've hit a lot of
There's
hot
a
topics
line.
today. Yeah, I know.
There's a line, Dan.
Trump, Muslims, yeah, it's really still in the news. Everything we're talking about.
Yeah.
But so no, and it's like, I guess it's called a hammock.
Banana hammock?
Yeah, look at you. Damn.
I know. I know a
Shit,
banana
woman.
hammock that people at my gym wear them while they work out.
Oh my God, that gym is crazy.
It's
Tutus
crazy.
and hammocks and snatches. So they at the end they were like, "Hey, the kid did it. Will you put on this hammock?" And while this topless woman, I was like, "She's topless?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's gonna look like she's giving you, a fellatio." I don't know why I suddenly get proper. And while you sing your line, because all the people in the porn musical are like explaining how they accidentally got into porn, like, "Oh, to pay for college," or blah blah blah. And I was like, "I do it because I like it." And I was like, "I'm not putting on the hammock. What? Why does she have no shirt on?" And it really was like Coco, where they're like, "Come on, man, everyone else did it. We're running out of money and time." And it was like, so I said, "I'll pull my pants down and still have my underwear on." And I came home and told Kathy, and she was like, "What? Someday our kid's gonna see that you have a daughter." I said that out loud. I go, "I have a daughter," and I'm like, "She'll never see this." And then when she was in 6th grade, she goes, "Were you in a movie where you played Gigundakok?" Because her friends found the link. Kathy was like, "Wow."
Dan, we've
went
zipped
too long.
through this time.
Oh my God.
We have to wrap up. I want to make sure that everyone's following you at the Dan Band on Twitter and Instagram. And in addition to this April 9th gig, the lineup at Birdland that you're doing with Susie Mosher. You also have concerts April 13th at Joe's Pub in New York, April 26th in Iowa, May 18th in Florida, June 23rd in San Francisco. You're at thedanband.com, and you've been a fantastic, really fun guest.
Oh my God, I don't even know what happened or what we
I know,
talked
I
about.
don't know either. We're going to have to go back and listen to the replay. This
my
episode,
God.
by the way, is only available to subscribers at dnrstudios.com/Laura for the first week. Then it will be available by free podcast. But I really hope that people who enjoyed the show, who are listening for free, will consider the $7 a month subscription. You get 8 episodes a month at least for less than a venti caramel mac cheese, whatever that thing at Starbucks is called. And also, the other thing you can do if you don't have the $6.95 a month, I know what that's like. If you throw up a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, or wherever you're listening, if there's a rate and review thing, that is hugely helpful to me. And it's kind of the only way I'm going to be able to keep doing it. So,
and then you get it for free?
Well, you can listen for free a week later.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the Susie Mosher gig will have already passed by the time the people listening for free
The
get
freebies,
it.
yeah.
But
they
if
can
they
still come
subscribe,
to
they can
Joe's
listen
Pub.
live and listen whenever they want on demand for that first week, the first exclusive week. I'm Laura Heywood. You can follow me on social media everywhere at Broadway Girl NYC. Coming up on Monday, I have Thomas Sadowski, who's an incredible Tony-nominated actor who has also been on the CBS show Life in Pieces. And if you're listening live, coming up is Anxiety, a show about anxiety and
tea.
And I'm going to leave you with this. Thanks for being here on Laura Heywood Interviews. I was going to play Candy Shop, but it's not loading. It's a perfect way to end.
3 minutes.